Last night I watched back to back Zulu from 1964 and Khartoum from 1966. They both obviously robbed from Lawrence, 1962. The first was brilliant, the second was tiresome. I've now watched thousands of voiceless men running and charging into gun for nigh on 4 hours. None of these men have a line to share in the movie, and they're dark. It must probably is only me, but my sense of warriordom doesn't carry a gun. The long history of Hollywood, etc., making gun carriers heroes just failed me. There's a kind of frenzy, perhaps a berserkness about battle to me, until some snot hoiks aloft his firearm, squints and shoots like a chicken. In whatever context it is fictionalized, it looks like what it is. Guy can't fight, is a pussy, going into dangerous territory, has a gun. We do get absurd with John Wick, where he fires his gunny-wunny like Bruce Lee used to punch, as if gun shooting was a choreographed martial art. Most guns in movies are fired from a distance, usually miss, so gunfights become as inane as Avengers. We have the myth, the story of the fastest gun, the quickest shooter. And I suppose then, if that in fact was ever true, that does raise it, that does require a certain kind of special talent. But we don't go into the gun shop and decide that we're not fast enough to own one. We still buy it. Being fast is not necessary. Being talented, in other words, is not necessary. In fact, there's the equalizer, isn't it? It's the great equalizer. It takes away the advantage of any kind of physical talent. And no wonder. Killing someone with a gun is as dangerous to the self, usually, as poisoning them, as noble, as manly. In Casablanca, there's a few guns pulled, tiny little ones, cute, Claude Rains little things. By the time we get to Clint Eastwood's 45s, we are definitely in phallus substitute territory. Make my day, look at the size of mine. In Zulu, we are privy to the monumentally dull inner life of Stanley Baker, the glories of early Michael Caine, and a crowd of wondrous stereotypes, while the massively brave and rather beautiful Africans don't interest us. They're just there to die. Their collective gesture still, even though, steals the film. The singing at the end, the salute. While white society is chucked at us, class, religious fanaticism, bravery and stoicism, redcoats and useless hats, made interesting really by its opposition. Think of that, the Christianity of it. Yeah, I know I'm boring as F, but I am better than the devil. At least I'm not them. This is Hollywood. One knows that if only the Gatling gun had been invented by then, the one the English used in Kenya, but oh yeah, they never made that movie, did they? I wonder why. There'd be no Zulu movie. It'd be over in 5 minutes. And the drones have made war movies obsolete. This is a fine balance in Zulu, where the obvious shortcomings of having this like a 3-foot spear, half of which seems to be blade and the other half this handle, so that you need to get within 2 feet of the enemy, contrasted with the rapid fire of these guns, where they do that wonderful thing of, first line shoots, moves back, second line moves in, shoots, moves back, second. There's an extraordinary scene later on where they just kill hundreds and hundreds of Africans using this thing. And I suppose we're supposed to watch it and go, gosh, that's great. And one does, that's the nature of drama, movies. You find a demon that you're afraid of, and you hope that your heroine or hero is carrying a gun when they encounter the alien or whatever, the bad guys. Perhaps it's only me, that'd be amazing, but I don't identify with the cowering riflemen. I'm giving lots of opportunity to identify with them. They're funny, they sing, they're sentimental about cows. They're very loyal and brave with each other, and when they do get to the point of fighting with their bayonets, which is the equivalent of the spear, you go, yeah, this is a real fight. What we are observing, what are we absorbing? Where we hope the few with the bullets beat the many with spears. If you pick a side, you are invited by the filmmaker to want one to kill many and the other to not kill at all. I am invited to identify with the shooter only. They have the language, the articulate, stereotypical personalities. I feel cause with these dolts. My heart warms. I'm giving them warts and all. The Africans are animals like the cattle. Well, I don't take the bait because, and this is simply why, I'm not watching it and going, this is appalling glorification of mechanization, of murdering, or anything like that. I'm just saying that the Zulu are fascinating to me. In other words, it's not out of some sort of liberal sense of justice. It's actually quite selfish. Do they have conversation, the Zulus? I'm sure they do. And I want to hear it. Even in the movie, their expressive physical movements tell a story, a deeper one my civilization is so proud to make disappear. Like, you know what I mean, dude? Where trivial lives are clung to, we are invited to make noble the banal. Take that stand, huddle behind that red line. Do not venture into the space of dignity. Zulus live there. You won't make it there. Were you worthy, you'd have saluted back at the end. So European that. Of course they saluted us, dash it all. After all, Wool Britannia. It's so funny. It never crossed your mind, did it, to salute the Zulu? During this 1619 preview thing that I watched last night, listened to, there was a woman. She said, she had a wonderful line in her poem. She said, if I know my Ovid, will you let me keep my children? And it's part of the fascination, I suppose, or the preoccupation with this notion of the great artists being of Europe, Brahms, Mozart, Beethoven, you know, the Renaissance painters, all of that, and it's great stuff. It's great stuff, and it serves us who were brought up on it and find it beautiful. And I think I've already gone into this, but I think one of the great promises of America, it's like, you know, the British invasion. It's like Mick Jagger and Keith Richards and Eric Clapton sitting back in their bedsits in Frinton-on-Sea or whatever it was, buying 45 records of Leadbelly, Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee, and listening to that music and finding it to be their music. Or, sorry, that's not not their music, but music that spoke to them, which means that the music of John Lee Hooker and Muddy Waters and Otis Redding is Etta James, Aretha Franklin, Ella Fitzgerald, is just infinitely universal. So, you know, I'm not watching my people and going, oh, gosh, chaps, you really shouldn't be so one-sided and bigoted. I'm actually going, well, look at what you're missing out on. That they're actually other people's are sharing with you. I don't know. That's as far as I got on this one.